when you have a heavy T1 defense, yeah, when you have a heavy T1 defense, a T1 meat shield, okay, booms, that's why you want the flat buffs, okay? The flat buffs are just the pluses. And if you don't know what flat buffs are, okay, when someone says flat buffs, it's the lingo. It's the lingo. Flat buffs as opposed to percentage buffs. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm always working on my refinements. My refinements are rubbish. I know they're rubbish. And don't tell me I need to do this because I already know. I already know. Okay, geez, leave me alone. I don't want subordinate city training speed on there, okay? Gosh, but it's all I could get before I ran out of gems and refining stones, and it got me advanced refining. So these plus 2,518, plus 17,676, blah, blah, blah. These are numbers being added to the base number, base single troop attack powers or whatever, okay? So when you're attacked and Boudica goes into action and all these troops go, all these mounted troops, okay, the millions upon millions of T1s that you are adding 1,776, yo. Here we go. 1,776 ah, to this. Okay? 1,776 gets applied to this. Thus, whatever percentages you have for your mounted troop start to percentage increase that number. You see? Everyone says, and I believe them, and I got a lot of work to do as far as getting those. All right? The single troop number in a flat buff that's plus whatever increases this number. Thus, with old booty, your 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 mounted troop attack plus 40% is doing more, having more of an impact on the higher single troop number. Okay? These are still good as far as percentages go, and I'd argue if you get high ones here, keep them to save your gems or whatever, because you're multiplying or increasing the percentage of, yes, much lower numbers as far as that 1,000 something for a mounted troop, but then if you've got a million more and 10 million more in all your other mounted tiers, that percentage is doing more of an increase on the higher number. All right, so depending on your layers, you might benefit from a mix of the two. All right. So let's see here. Like I said, they're shit. Okay, so don't judge me. I'm working on them all the time. Here we go. Mounted troop attack 27.3. Not bad. I'm missing 2.7%. All right. 27.3% on top of the base number. I'm adding 2024 right here to that base number. So this percentage is working off of those. That's maybe not bad for you. All right, but if I got these all way up to where they can be, let's look at the refines. All right, 1,096. I'm pretty low on the gold amount. Go refine right now. The Palace is the Blessing of Palace and the super refining event going on. Go get some goodies back and refine, refine, refine. You can see I used all of my blessings and I didn't get anything out of them. So these numbers here increase your single troop base amount, and then your 27% increases that amount. That's the layering order, the stacking order. First, you get the flat single troop buff amount, then you get the basic flat percentage buff. That applies to all the troops. Okay? When you're attacked, Boudica's there, you're defending. They get that. They get this, and then the percentage is stacked on top of it. Huh? All right? My helmet, Romulus helmet, also stacks on top of that 27% here. So I'm getting 67%. Do I have good ones there? No, I don't have any of them. But I do have these troops here nevertheless. Okay, so it's better than subordinate city, whatever. And then, last but not least, we're debuffing, debuffing, debuffing. Alas, the march size capacity, since I'm not marching, is negated. However, the bracer is great for enemy siege machine attack, debuff, so on and so forth. We are going to see that in action too, how those things work. Okay? Here with our refinements, we already looked at that. So, we talked about the single troop buff, about the Monarch equipment and what could potentially be better at a lower percentage because of this single troop buff or increase. And then the importance of a T1 uh, 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 defense heavy situation because this base number is bringing up all of those other single troop numbers, thus your percentages benefit more on all troops. Okay? Bring these up as much as possible. But if you got a high percentage, keep it 2. Just keep it and you'll save money. Sorry. Hopefully that's not terrible advice. So let's look at something. 2024 is what we're getting, right? Does this number factor in to our single troops? Wow, that's a lot of menus. No, because that's nearly all of it, right? I don't know. There's one way to check. 2024, that's taken a lot off of there. I'm pretty sure, and this is only Boudica that can affect these troops at home because that's where they are. They're not out doing something. Certainly not attacking. Let's remove it. Oh, shubwipes. I am weakened. Please, someone don't attack me. Now let's go in here again. Jesus Christ, I got to own it. 2,681. Stayed the same. I did that for a reason. You know why? Uh, yeah, you got credit. The reason why this had no impact. Maybe you know. Maybe you know. Because you're way smarter than me, or you figured it out a long time ago, or you've been researching yourself, so on and so forth. The reason why it didn't take effect and reflect there in your Monarch details is because they aren't being used. When are these refining attributes used? What's Boudica's job? Defending your keep. Ergo, therefore, you won't benefit and you won't even see these stats, the flat ones, in play. You will see this come into play because she is now actively performing a role. Okay? This 40% attack, amount of troop attack, it's not being contributed to our details. 40%. Okay. Oh, nope. 40%. This is the craziness that I go in, and this is what's so interesting and incredible about this game. Amount of troop attack, 618.7%. 618.7%. 618.7%. 618.7%. 618.7%. We should see 40 less than there. Six. Did I take it off? 618.7%. No, I just looked at 618.7%. 618. Sorry, I know that's being super annoying, but I'm remembering 618.7%. Where are we? 618.7%. Boom. Stays the same. But Leto, we saw the Monarch equipment. We saw that Monarch equipment go there. Yes, because the Monarch equipment is working and are contributing to that portion all the time. It might not be used, but it's contributing to your base numbers. Okay? This 40% attack power is only going to be active when someone is attacking your keep. You're going to get this amount of troop. You're going to get that, this, that, and this. You won't get this, of course, because you're not in a subordinate city. You're going to get all these added and all those added. All of that is contributed to you defending your keep. Boudica's up there. She's, just chilling, and she's talking to whoever your assistant general is, Shajar over here. They're like, you know what? I don't like old, Romulus. That Romulus, he's a real stinker, all right? He's a real brute. And oh no, we've been scouted. What's going on? Oh, it's a heavy T1 mounted defense, or just it's a mounted defense. It's Boudica there. I'm gonna shoot range. Here comes Algernon Sydney. All right, and just trying to lay waste. I'm, I'm up to the challenge. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go again. What's my weakness? Some mounted troop attack. Now all of these things are activated. Once that attack hits, boom, all this stuff goes into play. We can't see it in our Monarch detail, but it will be reflected within the mix of a battle report. We're going to see examples of that too. We won't be able to see what this is doing, but we'll see our final numbers with this factored in. Okay? Cool? Depending on the task at hand, depending on what your troops are doing, want to make sure that my volume's good. I'm going to try and turn it up just a little bit more. There we go. Trying to see my register. All right. Depending on what your troops are doing, you will see or get your particular buffs and debuffs. Yeah. All troops attack. See this language here? Applied to main city defense general. In city ground troop and mounted troop attack. In city, applied to main city. Do you see applied to here? Do you see in city here? I don't know. Can't guarantee and I can't confirm. Actually, maybe I could if I had another level 1 without any specialties. I'm not going to do that. I am venturing and surmising, which is coming to a conclusion without all of the facts, that these are not coming into play when you're defending. Why? Because we have stuff like this applied to main city defense general. In city. You don't need the in city. It could be regular whatever, but it's only applied to the main city defense general. Is this one? No. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Could we test that out? Maybe we can. We'd have to count everything on here. I'm not going to do it. We would have to count and total all the numbers of the attack percentage that Boudica has. I would take all the gear off because those are extra numbers, and I just look at the base stats. I'm not going to do that. Maybe you will. But if you want to see whether or not these are active, boom, 6% and 10%, 10%, you're going to need to contribute. You're going to need to take into account these skill books, all of her attack buffs here, all the equipment, or take it off. All right, all of her cultivated stats. Okay, which I don't even know. Troop attack, you're gonna have to get rid of these numbers. Increase to increase these numbers. So your troop attack, that would be a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole. All right. I'm just willing to think that these aren't because of the specific language of applied to main city defense general. You're getting this one and you're getting this one. Okay. In city, applied to main city. In city, we built in city, main city. Okay. And then this one, in city, in city, in city. Very specific. You have to get these in order to unlock this. And of course, the final specialty is going to benefit what that general is supposed to do. And once again, a quick recap. These things do not come into play until she goes into action. defending the keep. All right. All right. There's that part. And we saw that these things don't reflect in our Monarch detail. But, stepping a little bit further now, how buffs are applied, their nuances, how can you tell? Okay. We not only have our single troop buffs and then our flat percentage buffs for all the troops, or all of a particular troop type. Okay. Now our attacking, guess what's under attacking? In city troop buffs. And then down here, reinforcing. Okay. Reinforcing in city, attacking, flat percentage buffs, and single troop buffs. The in city. Let's look at in city troop attack, 606%. Why did I look at that? Because we want to see if that number changes by removing a piece of equipment. 606. Let's look at Boudica once more. It's ground defense. I'm a dingus. The Apollo axe, which is the improvement of the Parthian axe, okay, which is the improvement of the Achaemenidite axe, okay, with the newest upgrades that they have. In-city ground troop defense, 853%. That's the number, 853%. We're going to take that axe off now, okay? We're not shredding that axe anymore, face-melting solos. We're going to take it off because we need to go sharpen it or something. It does need to be refined, a little bit better. All right, a little bit better. That's close to 1,090 something, but see, I don't mind this because I have a lot of ground to. Anyways, I digress. We're going to get rid of it. Look at this. Remember, these aren't active until you go into action. That's when they take effect. But in city, increasing that removes. We're removing 35% of in-city ground defense. With that equipped, we were at 853%. Okay, let's look at our Monarch detail. This is one of the best places, if not the best place to look. Yeah, I can get scouted and you can see some things, but hey, you really want to know? These are your base numbers. In-city ground troop defense, 818. Would you look at that? 853% went down to 818 when we unequipped the Parthian axe, worth 35. I don't know the math. Let's see here. We had 853 minus 818, right? Here we go. We got a calculator. 853 minus 818%, or whatever. Boom, 35. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'll be damned, right? Why is that? Why? Why? Well, what I can think and what the conclusion that I reach is that in-city defense is a constant. It's a constant. It's always there. It's always present and active. All right. Whether your troops in the city are chilling out doing nothing, or whether they're defending, your in-city defense is always active. Thus, you don't need to be doing anything in order for this to contribute to that. Feel me? Now, with the in-city troop defense here, once you go into action and you defend, and you're now an active ground troop doing whatever task in the city, you're getting this in-city percent on top of these new numbers being contributed to you. Okay? And then you're also getting whatever, your ground troop defense buffs percentages that are either in your refined attributes or on the equipment. I hope that made sense. In city ground, always happening. But then you stack whatever percentage ground troop defense, we're using examples. These aren't them. Let's say this is ground troop defense. Boom, 24% on top of this. Okay, whatever the total of that is. All right, and then your ground troop is increased, the single troop amount is increased 1,000. Boom, 35% defense increase on top of the 24.7 increase, thus being a 59.7, 59.7% on top. Well, those stacked on top of the new number that has that factored in. Wow. These things here, 1056, you're not going to be able to see anywhere in action. You just have to understand that your troops have been increased, their single troop numbers have been increased by that much. Thus, your percentage is making more of an impact, doing more damage, defense, or HP, if you will, because your base number's higher. Okay? For Boudica, her equipment doesn't factor in until she goes into action, unless there is an in-city buff on it. Boom. In-city range troop attack there. Okay, so that's in-city range troop attack there. Any in-city? No. These don't have in-cities. They have a bunch of debuffs. So I'm choosing to go debuff heavy. All right. And then these ones, since there are no in-cities, they won't come into play until, boom, just like this one as well, until she goes into action. Because it doesn't say attacking, it doesn't say defending, it doesn't say reinforcing, anything like that. This is a flat percentage buff. I'm just trying to reiterate that and really drive it home. Cool. I think we have got everything we need to with Boudica, with the different buffs we have here, whether or not it's in city, okay, and main wall defense, when it's active, and how it's reflected in our details. I've never opened this up and looked at it while I'm getting attacked. And now that I'm going crazy and trying things, I might do that. I might go in here and then go look at my, mounted troop attack percentage and see if that number increases when I'm getting attacked, because Boudica goes into action and I have a 40% mounted attack increase. But we can only see it happen when it's happening. Otherwise, you got to trust the numbers. Cool. All right. We did staffs. We did single. We did some technology. We talked about different language involved, and there is more. More. That's one of my first notes. Okay. Going over Academy Tech and Defense. Oh, no, I've lost a page. Looking at um, the order of these particular buffs are single troop, flat buffs are flat across the board percentage buffs, all right, that apply to all of each individual troop, all right, and then the things that stack with it. Now, I'm very careful to say not all troops, okay? It's not all troops attack, all troops HP. That's different than all of your single or all of your individual troop types. All troops buffs applies to the total number of all the troops put together and their single troop number buffs. Does that make sense? It's not all the troops, because they have different numbers. This guy has this number here. So you take a march and you take every individual troop there, you add all of their attack numbers up, and then that total number is buffed by the all troops. That is what I have determined based on the language and how numbers change. All troops buff, for example, Ideal land. Mine's level 4. I have an all troops attack 15% HP, all and defense 15%. This is the last number to be applied. And all the troops aren't getting it right now. All right, they're only getting it when they perform their jobs. This does affect in city. It's got to. All right, because no matter what your troops doing, it's all of them. But it's going to take all of my troops that I have in city and apply that percentage to it. And that number changes, right? I get hit, boom, I lose a bunch of them. This percentage is now increasing a smaller number, a smaller power number. 17%, or I'm sorry, 15%, right? There's no way we can see this be removed or not unless we found a particular general with a skill that was all troops or a piece of equipment that was all troops. And I don't think that's anywhere. They're all specific or something else. Shit. We're talking about all troops there. If we go to Monarch Detail again, and we look at troops power, 11.9 billion. That's all of my troops. If they were all of them together inside the keep, all troops percentage is getting applied to that power number. All troops. So if you send an attacking march with 300 million troops in it, and it's all layered and everything, the total power number, we can look at that too. The total power number, it's not all individual troops are getting 15%, it's all the troops together. So this total power number is 5 million or 506,494,214. That is all the troops, whatever kind they are, their total number, boom, 15% on top of that. Now, this is all holy cavalry, so that's pretty easy. But if I were to put a really shitty layering of my siege, right? Let's see here, barb fort time, you know, shit, this is terrible. Okay, see how there's 100 of all these troops? If I go there, ooh, it changes that number, right? So the all troops percentage is being applied to that number there, 289. It's not to each one of these troops or all of these troops. It's all of the troops in the march. Add 100 more, boom, that increased power. That is the number, that is the power that an all troops attack, defense, or HP is being applied to. This factors in all of the other buffs you have wherever. All right, all of the buffs you have wherever plus the single troop number, boom. Then at the end, all troops buffs are added. Oh! That's what I believe. It's what I have determined. I hope that, hey, when Leto, we're talking about emerge, sure it's going to happen. What? Not emerge, but some players coming over. I haven't heard anything back. We'll talk later about it. Okay, so that's the all troops percentage. When you see something like that, victory column, now we're going over, here's another, oh, that's research speed and stuff, but all generals, basic troops, shit. So all troops from there, is there another, wherever you see all troops attack percentage, boom, that's what you get it. Here, when you level up your buildings, all right, as far as your barracks go, you will see an increase at a certain point, starting at level K36, different increases. Siege machine attack, HP, defense, these you can't remove to find out because you can't deconstruct a building. You can on the resource spots, but not this. So these are those flat percentage buffs. Thus, they are being contributed to that first, there's the single troop increase, and then the flat percentage buffs under that. These are being applied there. That's one of the sources of it, okay? then that percentage is working on top of this single number. You get it now, I hope. Or I just keep confusing you more and more. Where else? Each of the barracks is going to have that at different levels. Prison doesn't have anything. Spiritual beasts, they do. They're seals, right? Attacking mounted troop HP. That number there is applied to your Monarch detail for your attacking mounted troop HP number. We can't take that away either. So it's just factored in. That's what's making it. Attacks on monsters. Whoa. There's nowhere to see that. Sucks. That I've discovered. Maybe there is. I don't know. So spiritual seals, of course, they're buffs. We've done this before. Anything else? Nope, nothing in there. All right. But your dragons, okay, they are range troop defense, 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 attack. So that's only for, it's on Martian now. And the troops that he's going out with, okay? These are going to your general stats. And those raise your attack powers and stuff like that. We won't get into there. And then we've got these passive buffs that are only applied to attacking and attacking, but march size capacity, yeah. All right, that's pretty badass. And then your talents, range troop attack, range troop HP. So you put the Celtic demon on Boudica, she's gonna get these buffs too. Why? Because it's the flat percentage buff that goes to everything's. Cool. Those are buffs. Oh, subcities, my goodness. Civilization treasure. Look at this. Subordinate city training speed plus 17.5%. You know what? You can see that in your Monarch detail. Did you know that? Where is my subordinate city training speed? Subordinate city training speed. That's ground specific. That's construction. That's gold. Ranged, city, mounted, subordinate city. So let's look at these. They're all the same percentages, pretty much. Okay, they are 160.3, 160.3, 160.3. Let's equip this now. 160.3. Does that take effect? Does that reflect there? Is that where you can find buffs that are working like all the times? 160.3. I'll be goddamn. There you go. Okay. The 17.5%, it directly affects that. You change your civilization equipment, your Monarch detail buff stats are changed. When you get scouted, when you ask someone to scout, you better have you better have exactly what you want equipped. You're only going to see a certain amount. Since you're not attacking, you won't see your general's buffs factored in. Your wall general, right? In city being reflected on there since they're active all the time. That should be, I don't know, I can't guarantee it, but these are affected. Your Monarch equipment changes those numbers, thus that will be reflected. Okay. All right. We looked at the ideal land and the all troops attack. These here in the triumphal arch are only during battlefield, except for your reinforcement capacity and rally capacity. That takes effect wherever you are doing that. Oh my goodness. Council of State. Go into yours and look. And now that we understand, I'm so sorry about fixing these. Now that we know a little bit more, or a lot more about how these buffs and how they apply, single troop buff, flat percentage buff, then the specific buff on top of that, reinforcing, attacking monsters, defending, attacking, in rally. Are there any other things that we perform? Okay. It seems like kind of all of them in city. Almost forgot that one, right? So you get the first two, then you get these ones put on top of the single and the flat percentage. The attacking in rally And attacking monsters, those all stack. Okay? Attacking monsters and attacking don't stack with defending. All right? So there's a certain layering. And then after all of that, all troops. All troops on top of that. Yeah. Wild, huh? Here we go. Let's take a look at our Council of State. Boom. I I have not been doing any marks here, but I'm gonna have to watch this over again and do bookmarks because it's a long one. I knew it would be. It's a ton of fun. There's a lot to learn. I know a lot of us are checking it out too, so I cannot thank you enough. This is cool to know. It's cool to help each other with all of this, and then it really helps us be confident in doing what we're doing. Okay, when someone says you got to do this, you got to. Why don't you do that? Why? It's like, well, whoa, hey, thank you for trying to help me or for wanting to help me. I shouldn't say trying because then that insinuates that they haven't. It's kind of insulting in my mind. Thank you for wanting to help, but it's a little bit more complicated or nuanced right there. Okay, go check out Leto the Second and Ebony TKR. It's the R5 Life with Leto. I mean, yeah, sure, go ahead, but check it out. Okay, you governor. All right, depending on your status as far as your officer, you awaken them, attacking, in city, in city, in city. These don't stack. Yes, your troops inside your city will attack, but for the purpose of defending, they're defending. They'd never attack if they didn't have to. That's why it's different. Attacking. I'm gonna attack you. You know, my general or my monarch sent me. Okay, you're attacking someone. Thus, you are attacking, and they are defending. Yeah, they'll attack you back, but they're defending. You gotta. I believe that's true. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. They wouldn't word it that way. Anywho, in city, in city, in city, and then just a flat percentage buff. It's going to be the same for all positions. However, the troops might vary. Mounted HP, range defense. Ground HP, mounted defense. All right. So there are the differences. In-city troop defense. In-city troop defense. Oh, that's all the troops in there. Your in-city troops. Every single one of your troops in there is getting that buff on top of the other ones. Cool. And then all of these flat percentage buffs are applied to all your siege, all your range, everything, no matter what they're performing. Then you can upgrade their positions. Attacking, in city, in city. Go check it out. They're very specific. There are all kinds of buffs that factor in. These percentages are factored in on your Monarch detail. Okay? You can't remove them, so you can't see the numbers change, but we've already seen it with Boudica's equipment. This is being factored in. Then position promotion. And then we've got attacking. Each troop type, when they're attacking, get these buffs added to them. Okay? The titles have some. Whoop, you can upgrade their positions, and then you can promote the positions. Oh my goodness. Just the amount of buffs are huge. And wait, we're not done. See how this says 4 here? Okay. Roman numeral 4. 1 before 5 is 4. That's what the IV is. Okay. Upgrade. That number equates to the level of your governor positions. It took glory golden twigs and your various troop types at certain levels, okay, which took merit jades. Once they got there, you use the glory golden twigs to upgrade the title buff. It goes up to 9. Up to 9 hurt me. I'm stoked about 4. But attacking, 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 attacking. Attacking, attacking. You know, I think it's all attacking. All right. Plus this, plus that, plus it. Ooh, there's even a debuff. When attacking, enemy troop attack minus 10%. That's only going to happen when you send your troops to attack. You'll get that. Okay. There's one debuff there. But if you look down, hey, another enemy troop debuff. Attack range troop attack. This one says enemy troop HP minus 15%. Enemy troop, your enemy, whatever you're facing them, whether you're reinforcing, defending, or attacking them, boom, they're getting a debuff there. That's the language. Okay, this when attacking, only specific, right? So your Council of State is just a wrecking ball when you start equipping it, filling it with awakened generals, and upgrading various positions. The first two, we got Governor and Commander, attacking, attacking, in city, flat buff. Flat percentage. It's the same for all of them. The troops change a little bit. Upgrading this, it's going to give you different ones. This is in-city stuff, not when attacking. In-city, in-city, in-city. Oh, here's an attacking troops attack. So whenever you send any troop out attacking, they're getting that. In-city, in-city. Enemy ground troop, mounted troop attack debuffs. And now we know how those are applied. That's the title upgrade. Position level, in city, attacking, attacking. Very specific buffs that are reflected in your Monarch detail. Okay? But unless you can remove them, you can't see a change. And then finally, we have more attacking. And I'm assuming this one will be too. Once we win Battle of Guagamela, 15 times. We're 5 away. All right? Cool. Title position. Same thing here. All right, upgrading here. I need to have my ground and mounted at least at level 8 and have 2,000 glory golden twigs to upgrade this to title grade buff 2 in rally troop, in rally defense, in city, and then enemy range troop and siege D. That's debuffing all the time. This debuffing all the time. I want this. I love debuffing ranged in siege. And boy, howdy, we're going to see that in action. We might be going for a record here as far as how long it is, but there will be chapters. I should have said that at the beginning. I'll say it in the description, but this is how deep the rabbit hole goes, and this is how nuanced buffs are and how we can interpret them when we see them on a report. We're laying the groundwork of how buffs work, how they come into play, and the order of them being applied so that when we look at a report, we say, I know what's in there. I understand where the improvements need to be made and where I'm lacking. Or I can't really interpret this number as gospel, as being legit. Okay. All in city attacking, it's kind of the same, right? Oh, did we look at this one here? Upgrade position, attacking, attacking, position, attacking, attacking. A lot of attacking, but there are debuff. When we get into leading center and we get into ruling center, we see a lot of in rally, but then also defending. Defending's awesome because that's defending to keep, all right, which is stacked on top of in city. And then defending is also stacked on top of when you're occupying a different thing like a tower, the throne, a resource tile. If you're the first one in it and you're the occupying force, you're getting this defending buff. Your reinforcements will only get their reinforcing buffs plus all their flat percentages and stuff like that. Real nice, buddy. Oh, it is? I bet you that's pretty. Okay. And the reason we know this, in rally, in rally, in rally, in rally. Ooh, finally we're getting some good defending action. In rally, ooh, yeah, we like defending. And then plus our flat percentages. Ooh, yeah, in rally and defending. In rally is really, really strong depending on your situation and how you set your buffs up and stuff. Okay, this one is going to require server war. Now that we're in this new server, I think we're going to win some more. All right. Well, what's our upgrade here? Shoot, I can get these all 3 to 14. 8,000 glory golden twigs. A bunch of in rally action. Oh, I love it. In rally, all troops defense plus 10%. All troops, that's great. All the time, stacked on top of it with all the troops that are in one particular situation, okay? All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Last but not least. Okay, I plan on awakening him during this Trial of Knights, but I don't quite have enough attacking troops in the battlefield. Ah, this is very, very unique. What's the battlefield? Constantinople, Gaugamela. We don't do Battle of Zama here in 1834, but there is the Storm Clash, right? And then the Clash of Civilizations, the Storm Farts, I forget, Storm ones. Okay, well, this doesn't make any, there's nothing there. All right, all the different buffs, how they're applied, when they're applied. In rally stacks with attacking, and everything stacks with your flat percentage buff. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, good stuff. Council of State, ideal land all troops percentage. This is for generals and other buffs. Your civilization treasure affects things real time. The dragons and spiritual beasts only come in to play at particular times. We've been working and talking about cards like crazy. Okay? We don't want to check that, but we want to check this. Checkity check. All the cards put together. Here are your buffs that are active based on what your collection is. Okay? When defending the main city, enemy ground troop HP. That's very specific because the buffs in the Council of State said enemy troop HP minus whatever. That means all the enemy troops whenever you're doing anything. But now this debuff is only applied to when defending the main city, not defending something outside of the main city, but defending the main city. That's your in-city troops. Okay, your in-city troops, this defending main city is stacked on top of your in-city troop buff. All right, when attacking in rally, flat percentage buffs in rally, reinforcing range troop and siege defense. That's very specific. Reinforcing does not get defending. What? You are defending though, Leto. Yes. No, you're reinforcing the defense of who occupied it first. You're reinforcing the defense of who occupied it first. Your percentage, to my best knowledge of what I can gather, this reinforcing range troop, this buff does not stack with who you are reinforcing. They have their own reinforcing stats that come into play when they're reinforcing. Your reinforcement buff stacks on top of your flat percentage and single troop and all troop. Okay? So you're still getting 4 different buffs for your reinforcements. They are not defending though, they're reinforcing. If you go and you occupy, well, my gatherers right now, right? They are defending these positions. If somebody sent a troop or a march to my Alexander Hamilton in this relic, you'll even see it flash on the screen. It says, so-and-so sent, reinforced your relic. They're reinforcing. They're not getting defending buffs, only reinforcing. The reason why we know this and we can be sure about it is because the language is different. Hello, soldier. The language is different. If reinforcing meant the same as defending, they wouldn't word it that way. They'd just say defending. There's no need for reinforcing. There's no need for this stuff, reinforcements. Okay? The troops they send are getting their buffs, thus you're strengthened to the degree that they are, or they will survive whatever situation they're defending. Okay? From based on this attack after all the layering and stuff, the invisible, rounds go. I don't even have a clue how we could determine that. Somebody might, but you can rest assured that only your troops that you send to reinforce are getting the reinforcement buffs plus your flat percentages, okay, your all troops and your single troop number buffs. Whew. pretty dang wild, isn't it? That's the cards. And that's the language of these things. Okay? And some of these, yes, you can see reflected in your details. Your Monarch Details is the best place to look for your percentage as far as how your buffs go. You take ground troop defense 661 and you don't add it to attacking, but you add it to ground troop in city defense 853, 651 plus 853, right? Not reinforcing. So you take those two. What do those equal? In city ground defense 853. 853 plus, let's see what happens here. This is wild. Plus our flat percentage buff here, ground troop defense 661.6. 661.6. What does that equal? Boom. 1514. 1,514. 1,514. What's up, babe? Yeah, who cares? Oh, you already knew that, baby. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so flippant with that. Was it, what was our percentage here? 1,514. Don't mess with my phone, please, honey. It's not appropriate. 1,514. Let's pull up a report. Let's pull up a report that one of my alliance members, Alphabet Guy, did. Alphabet Guy Scout. The reason why I did this is because I couldn't pull up the stuff. Oh, look at that. Defense, 2,168. Does it equal this? No. No. So when I was scouted, sitting still, doing nothing, not changing anything that I have right now, what is that extra amount? Yeah, that extra amount, all the things added on there. What could it be? Monarch Gear will change this because it changes in the Monarch details. What else is there? It's not going to be from equipment, but the in-city is changing the in-city. We've got officers, don't we? We have got these, don't we? All of this stuff, these in-cities here, or I mean, sorry, these flat percentages here, that's factored in. Okay, these cards. All right. Okay, we got that on there. Let's take a look at this. Look at our generals. Okay, our duties. Duty means poop. Officers. Look at this. Hera here. Her main skill. Your troops attack and defense by 15%. Oh, does that say all troops? No. So does that mean all troops, or does it mean your troops and that 15% is going to flat percentage? Geez Louise, I don't know. But I bet you anything that 15% is included on that scouting report. All right. General is the keep officer. We don't have any of those, but that's not. This is applied to keep officer. That's march speed and construction speed. See, we know this one is, and that one's not because it's march speed as well, but it doesn't say applied. Doesn't say applied to keep officer. Okay. Attacking ground troop, mounted troop, and ground troop attack. Attacking mounted troop and ground troop 15%. These are active all the time because for the attacking, because she's on duty here and this is flashing. Duty means poop. Okay? If, let's see here, attacking mounted troop attack, ground troop attack plus 15%. 15%. Oh my gosh, we're double checking this because, oh shoot, I clicked my warehouse. 15%. What was my attacking ground troop attack? Attacking ground troop attack, 497.5. 497.5. Will we see a 15% decrease when we take her off of duty? I'm not going to say it again. Okay, she doesn't have those applied to keep officer. What's our flat percent or attacking percentage here now? Attacking ground troop attack 482. 482. 92.5. Wouldn't you believe it? 497.5 minus 15 is 482.5. Your officers, boy howdy, are factoring into your Monarch details there. Now I've got to get her back up to a super officer. Okay, so I'm just gonna quick random stuff. It's all extra stuff I've got. Come on. Ah. Oh man, I bet you I need to go fishing. There we go. I don't have to equip all of it because you just have to be over what, 3.5? 3.5. So if I go to duty, go click on there to be a super keep officer, 3.3. Okay. I'm well over that here. Shovel wipes. So now that she's in there as a super keep officer, generals, super keep officer because she's over 3.3. Now I can just remove all that. Yeah. Because I entered the position at that power level. Thus, it's going to keep me there. Okay, if I leave, I'll have to re-equip. Oh, the those percentages in your Monarch detail that we took and then we compared to the scouting report, all that extra stuff, what could possibly be be factored in? All troops attack. We can't see that anywhere in our Monarch detail, not until everything's been considered. All right. A Monarch gear, if you have less troops, your power number goes down. Thus, the percentage isn't as high. Something like that, I think. I don't know. I'm losing my mind now. There are some things that we just can't get. This all troops. Here we go. 5%. These ones here. Oh man. Maybe we can see this now. All troops attack. Does it factor in to our flat percentage buff? We've got 5% there. And let's look at the refining attributes. Mounted attack is 8.8. 8.8 mounted attack. Okay. We're going to see if our numbers change. Now we got to find out what they are. I'm going to assume that it's not going to be attacking. It's not going to be in city. It's going to be a flat percentage buff. I don't see, because it's not specific to attacking or whatever. It's just all troops. Mounted troop attack is 618.7. I should know that. We already looked at that. 618.7. Okay. Now, perhaps we want to see an 8.8%, 8.8 minus plus 5, oh, 14.3, 13.3% different. Any change that goes down. 618.7. Okay. We don't have to unequip or unassign Hera, but we just need to unequip this. View, remove. It shouldn't change. Okay. Her status, which is cool. We'll put that back on here in a second. Let's look at our Monarch detail now. Holy cow. The Leto Rabbit Hole. You're in for a doozy today. Not single. We didn't look at that. Let's look at mounted. I'll be goddamn. This is one thing I was wondering. We were at 618.7. So sorry. All troops attack plus her 618.704. Yes. It's factored into this in real time. Wow. Wow. We've got our flat percentage buff. We've got our attacking and we've got in city. The report, and then that our flat percentage buff is taking into account all troops. Yes, finally discovered that together. That is so cool. So that is stacked into the flat percentage, meaning whatever there, it is the last one added to each one, each troop type. Oh, let's put that back on. Let's not forget. Nope, not that one, even though it's more powerful. We want the consul's tunic. Okay. Oh man, it'd be great to get that. So here's the thing. We can't see our defending troops percentage anywhere. We can't see our defending troops stat unless we went through every single place where there is, hey, congratulations, where there is a buff for defending troops, and then added those all up, and then showblipes, skadoosh, added it to our Monarch detail percentage. You understand? You feel me? You go to Monarch detail. You take your in city, shady. All right. And then you take your flat percentage buff here. Forget that. Your in city, your flat percentage, you forget that. You take those two numbers, which we found to be, I've got numbers everywhere. I don't even know. 1084 or something like that. Okay. 18 something. It doesn't matter. We looked at that. There is nowhere to be found the defense. Oh man. Oh man. We know that all troops goes into the flat percentage buff. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to test the theory. What's up, buddy? What is that? Is it? Whose is that? Who? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, man. You guys eat candy, eat your marshmallow bars. I don't care. I just need you drinking water, and you guys bet your asses you're gonna be working and cleaning your stuff up. Got it? Okay. I love you kids so much. Sorry I'm taking so long. This I told you this is gonna be a a a, a wrecking ball. Okay, so let's take just our ground troop attack. All right, 533 point thrizzle. Okay, we know that that is affected by all troop stuff going on, the equipment and the skills of our officers. Okay, not taking in sub cities because they're not helping us right now on that scouting report. Oh man, sorry. Our council of state, yada yada yada. Plus our in-city skadoosh. I don't know why they wouldn't have defending troops here too. Why is it only attacking, in-city, reinforcing, and flat percent? That doesn't make sense. Come on, Ebony, put everything in there so we can really get this if we want to. We're doing attack, right? In-city ground troop attack of 518. All right, we did that math. Here it is again. 1514 equals 1514.6. No, in-city ground. Oh, that's true. 518. 853. That's not it. Silly goose. 533.3 plus 518. Y'all probably did the math before. I'm sorry, I should talk. Oh, God. Did I? Damn it. Plus, my fingers are twitching. Where is my stylus? Stylus. God damn it. I've misplaced things. Come on. All right, all right. 530. Fuck me. 533.3 plus, I promise you, we're going somewhere with this. 518 equals 1051, 1051.3. I swear, where did it go? Did I drop? Yeah, I dropped it right here. Okay, cool. I need a drink of water this time. Where's your water? Yeah, all right, cool. Now, when we looked at our report, all right, of this one, okay, we saw that our ground troop defense is what we were looking at, right? Ground troop defense. Entity ground troop. Fuck, we were looking at attack. God damn it. Attack. That's why it's hard to keep track of this. We're looking at ground troop attack, and I can't quite. It's 1776. All right, that's the number. It's 1776 is the total number. 1051.3 is what we have there. 1776 is the total attack power. So I'm losing my mind. Sometimes the rabbit hole leads to a dead end. Okay, so bear with me. Ground troop attack is not. That was 1776 is a different report. Fuck. I need to look at that, and I didn't want to. Let's do defense. I didn't want to pull up my whispers to find this. So 2168 is what we have on this report. When Alphabet Guy scouted me, and I was trying to put things together because I don't ever have anybody scout me. 2160, at least I don't want to be scouted for the sake of me to see. 21.668%, 2,168% is my ground troop defense. When someone scouts me, that's what they see. All right, I'm going to look at my flat percentage buff, which is not the single troop. That changes the base number. Ground troop defense 661.6, 661.6. Oh, I can just put it here. 661.6 plus in-city ground troop defense 853, okay, plus 853 equals 1514. That's what we had before, 1514. So that makes a difference of 2168, 2168 minus 1514 equals 654% difference. Where are we getting 654? All troops, flat percentage buff, in city. Those three you can find right here in this report based on everything that we've covered as far as where your buffs are. Generals, general skills, general's equipment if it's specific to that duty position, duty spook. Okay. General specialties if they are the person that is supposed to be, on duty in that position. Okay. And it has to say applied to keep officer, that thing. Okay. The dragon, I have the dragon of thieves on Boudica. Those stats aren't coming in because she's not using the dragon for anything. Okay, unless there's an in-city. All right, unless there's an in-city buff. Let's look at our sacred dragon, dragon of thieves. What are our flat ones? In-city siege, in-city ground. Those are factor in. Okay. Those are the passive. Now let's look at our talents. Siege, siege. Those will factor in when siege goes and she leads the siege. In city, in city. So there are some there on your dragon that contribute. You get it. The military academy so far has no in city. It does have when defending, though. Military academy, mounted, besiege. Increases mounted troops attack by this percent when joining an alliance war. Okay, and increases mounted troops HP 85% when defending. If you went around and you looked at your defending troops percentages, added them up, and yo, do you have any blazons with defending troops stats? Let's take a look at my Grizown. Blazon. Look at this. The sacrifice set. When defending, debuffs. And then defending troops, 15%. That 15%, defending ground troop attack, we want defense. Where's my defense? This is a flat percentage buff. I've been just starting to work on these. Defending percentage buff. If I look here, They're not defending, but this is all attacking, right? The defending, literally switching from blazons, that's going to change your percentages based on whether or not you have a flat percentage. These defending isn't going to be there, but the ground troop defense will. This 6% chance will. I bet if you add up all of the defending buffs that you have or I have, it will make up. What are they talking about over here? Keep it cool. It will equal 654%. Feel me? I bet if we're trying to figure out where our numbers are coming from, exploring, I want to leave that in there. Where the heckles, schmeckles are our um, percentages coming from when someone scouts us for shits and we want to know and make less work for ourselves, but make our friend, our loved one, our allies. How long has it taken them to get there? Where the hell? Oh, is that a fort? Um, uh, that final percentage number or scouting percentage number, AG Scout 2168, with the difference of 654, that is your defending troop percentage buff. We figured it out. It's so silly. At the very least, that is in there. It might not equal that. There might be something else going on. But everything we saw as far as the numbers changing in real time in your Monarch details, all of it factored in. We found out where all of them go, except for defending, because it's not in Monarch detail. Here it is. If you want to know what your defending troops percentages are for each particular troop type, shibboleths. You take your Monarch details in city and flat percentage buff, subtract the higher one or the lower one from the higher one, whatever the difference is, that's your defending position. Okay, that is that part. Do you? You may or may not agree. It might. You might know. The only thing I know for certain is that I know nothing at all. But that is what I have determined. It's a rather convincing argument, I say. Okay. Monarch gear. We saw blazons factor in. All the other buffs everywhere. We looked at our council of state. We would see those things change if we removed those generals. We saw an officer and their equipment. We saw Boudica's equipment, when it's active and when it's not active, and what is always active. The language of the buffs matters. We essentially went crazy and laid the groundwork for every single technology buff and all that jazz. Holy crap, it's already been 2 hours. Well, it has been. So I'm just thinking back, is there anything else that we could possibly cover based on the reports that we see with that, determining what our buffs for our attack power, our defense, and HP, are they accurate when someone scouts us, whether it be a friend from another alliance or an alliance member? Can we go off of those numbers? Yes. Alphabet guy, you were looking at a report from your buddy and then my report. It looked like your numbers went down on their report, but your numbers went up where you wanted them to on my report. It has nothing to do with whoever scouted you, okay? Whether it was me or them. Oh my gosh, this is bad. Um, it could have been wonky, a glitch in the system. With all of the different things that factor in to changing your buffs. Oh, wow, it actually wasn't that bad. There was something going on somewhere which lowered a particular thing. You'd have to go through, recount it, and figure it out. Because with all of the math and with all of that jazz, that number equals what it should equal. Now, are you ready for the next step?